factor analysis, exploratory factor analysis. We are going to talk about EFA later. So EFA just tell us whether we can we can differentiate this concept. For example, differentiate A with B, and we need to confirm they are different concepts. Yeah, we use that. Okay. Now, so we have this concept, work-family conflict or family-work conflict. Yeah, two key roles. Then we further move on. Some scholars in recent years, some scholars propose this concept, teaching research concept. Teaching research conflict. This is more specific, right? Yeah. So many roles, then we focus on work roles, family roles. Then when we focus on work roles, we know we have different work roles, right? Different work roles. And different work roles, there may be also conflicts between these roles, these work roles, right? So teaching research conflict. This concept specific for which work population? Teacher. More specifically, university teachers, right? Yeah, university teachers. University teachers have different work responsibilities. Most of them. We have to do research. We have to teach, right? Yeah, we have to do research. We have to. Are they compatible? Are the roles compatible? Sometimes, but which means, why you say sometimes, which means sometimes they are not, right? Yeah, sometimes they are, but maybe more often they are not compatible. There are conflicts between the different work roles, right? It's very easy to understand. Just because we all have limited time and limited energy, right? Yeah. So desirably, they teaching research, they may complement to each other. Yeah. There is a nexus. Yeah. They may complement to each other. While teaching, I may share the most recent findings with my students, right? Yeah, so students may know what it has been doing in this area. Then through researching, I can share the learning of and through teaching, I may gain more. I may have inspiration. Yeah, I may know what can be researched. Yeah, so they actually they desirably they complement each other, but in reality, we all have limited time, and we all have limited energy. So as a result, most of us will spend more time on the role that is more valued, right? Yeah, especially when we when the evaluation, performance evaluation, focus on one specific role, there must be conflict. Yeah. For example, when a university, when the performance evaluation focuses on research performance, the university teacher, the faculty must spend more time on conducting research, right? It's easy to understand. Yeah, you have heard of this word? What is that? Publish or perish. Have you heard of that? Yeah, this is worldwide for for university teachers, for scientific researchers. Publish or perish. So this is what? This is a pressure. This is pressure. You know what? For example, in America, you know this word, tenure track. Tenure. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that. You know that? Tenure. So you have, for example, 5 years. 5 years. And in the 5 years, if your performance, research performance, exceed the criteria, yeah, you may on track. So you may get a permanent position. But in the other case, if your performance does not meet the requirements, what? You have to leave, right? You have to leave. I mean, you imagine the situation for these young university faculty, for this young faculty. About what age they may graduate as a PhD student? About what age? Not old, but like 35? That's too old. So normally there is no gap. There Bachelor, master, doctor, there is no gap. Normally they will graduate as a doctor, as a PhD, somewhat like 28 to 30. 28 to 30. Well, is that true? It's true, right? Yeah, but some maybe, some talents may be younger than that. Some others may be older than that, but on average, around 28 to 30. 28 to 30. Okay, then. Many of them also pursue postdoctoral research, right? Yeah. Okay. After they complete doctoral study, postdoctoral research, they what? Okay, you have 5 years. 5 years. This is this 5 years. This position is not permanent, right? You have to work hard. Work hard. So after this period, how old are they? Somewhat like 35, right? Somewhat like 35. For most people, for many people, when they are 35, well, they may have their kids to take care of. Right? So in that case, if they have to leave, they lose their job, they lose the position. It's very, this is what we say, job is career, right? Job is career. What? This is really what? the difficult situation for them. Yeah, difficult. So you suppose if they face this kind of challenges, I guess they spend most of their time on scientific research, right? Because scientific or research performance will largely determine whether they stay or leave. Yeah. So I don't know if this is the case in your countries. Yeah, but it's the case in many countries. Also in China, Chinese young scholars, yeah, very difficult. They work really hard, in order to stay in universities. So there is what? There is research and teaching conflict. Research and teaching conflict. And it's the same case. It's quite similarly. Is there direct? Yeah. Teaching interfere with my research. Right? Teaching interfering with my research. Research interfering with my teaching. Many, it's true. It's really true. Many teachers, many university faculty, they love teaching. They like teaching, but they have to allocate most of the time on research. Yeah, so this reduce their engagement in teaching activities. So there's conflict. There's conflict. Okay, now you see. In many cases, we do not propose totally new concepts, but we move the concept forward. Right? So when you design your study, you may consider these. If I can go deeper into the concept, that is what? That is your conceptual contribution. Yeah. More suitable for this sample, more suitable for the features of this sample. Yeah, that could be your contribution. For another example, heard of this concept, self-efficacy, right? Self-efficacy proposed by Bandura, yeah, in 1970s in his social cognitive theory. Social cognitive theory, he proposed a very important, very influential concept of self-efficacy. Many after its proposition, many scholars show interest in examining this concept, self-efficacy. Yeah, been researching this concept for some decades, for 3 decades. You know what? After that, we go forward. Instead of focusing on, so when we say self-efficacy, this is what? This is a general. This is general self-efficacy. Right? So in general situation, yeah, when for example, when they have suffer from challenges, when they encounter difficulties, they have confidence in their abilities to resolve or to deal with what. This is what? This is general self-efficacy. But in the past 2 decades, you know what? The interest changed. Interest changed. Scholars show more interest in domain-specific self-efficacy instead of general self-efficacy. Did you notice that? Yeah. Can you give some examples of domain-specific self-efficacy? What? Yes. For example, in educational domain. Yeah. For teachers, we have teacher self-efficacy, right? Yeah, we have teacher self-efficacy. Yeah. This is domain-specific, right? Teacher self-efficacy. What is teacher self-efficacy? Now, the most widely accepted integration of teacher self-efficacy is that teacher self-efficacy has 3 dimensions. It has 3 dimensions. One is class management self-efficacy. Class management self-efficacy. The second is the efficacy for engaging students. Yeah, efficacy for engaging students. The third one is the efficacy for instructional strategies. Instructional strategies. So, engaging students, managing class, and instruction. Instruction. So, okay, for teachers, we have teacher self-efficacy. What else? What else? Domain specific. Feedback self-efficacy. Good. Now, feedback. Suppose this is what? This is mainly proposed for leaders, for supervisors, for leaders. So some leaders are very efficient or very proficient in providing feedback, right? Yeah. Feedback is very important. For example, if you've been working hard, and you make progress, if your supervisor give you a timely and positive feedback, you've done a good job, how do you feel? You feel what? Energized. Yeah, you feel motivated. Yeah, good. You feel motivated, right? Yeah. Feedback. Suppose you are a teacher. When students provide very good answer, provide very smart, solution. Yeah, you provide feedback, positive feedback. You know how the students would feel. Yeah, good. So feedback is, so if you are excellent, if you are good at feedback, so it's good. So feedback, self-efficacy. For students, we have one. For students, we all have. For students, we have academic. We have academic self-efficacy, right? Yeah, for students. For example, we have coping self-efficacy, right? Coping self-efficacy. For another, we have decision-making. Decision-making self-efficacy. We have so many. Oh, for example, what we conduct, we also have researcher self-efficacy. Researcher self-efficacy. So many domain-specific self-efficacy beliefs. So now we focus more on the domain-specific self-efficacy. Which is better, domain-specific or general? Which could be better? Domain. Why? Because domain, they may capture the uniqueness or the features of the sample. For example, let's make comparison. I'm researching teachers. One option is that I'm researching teacher self-efficacy. The other option is that I research general self-efficacy. Which could be better? Teacher self-efficacy, right? Why? Because teacher self-efficacy, this is more relevant to the population. Yeah, it may produce more statistical power. So this is what. Okay, now let's think. General self-efficacy, domain-specific self-efficacy. This is progress, right? Okay, we may not so intelligent, like Bandura, proposing this important concept of self-efficacy. Maybe it's too challenging for us, but it's possible for us to propose like academic self-efficacy, like research self-efficacy, right? Like, for example, while sojourning in a foreign country, you may have your own, because you have to cope with many challenges. They are not present in your home countries. Yeah? So, coping self-efficacy could be relevant to you, international students, right? Your acculturation self-efficacy is also relevant to international students, right? Okay, so we may not propose totally new concepts, but we can move concept forward. Yeah, that's what? That's contribution. That's contribution. Okay, so this is first one. New concept or conceptual breakthroughs. Now I want to focus on theoretical. This is really important. Also, it may be highly challenging for us to propose a new theory. It's challenging, right? Yeah. But, well, if we can use the series appropriately and make contributions to the series, that's good. That's good. So we have 3 levels when applying a theory. The basic level is you have to choose an appropriate theory. You have to choose appropriate theory. This is basic, but many students have problems with this level. when you write your own thesis, maybe many of you will have this problem also. You know, you have to present series in your thesis. You know that. But the problem is that theory really suitable for your research? You only know you have to use theory, but do they match the theory and your research? Do they match? Maybe not. Maybe not. So this is a serious problem. Maybe you be noticing that many teachers, you all participate in the seminars on a Friday afternoon. Yeah, I mean, did you notice that many how Professor Hung call them consultant, right? A discussant, right? A discussant. Yeah, so these teachers for this semester, Professor Dean, Professor Dean and Zhou Da. Yeah. So I guess they must raise concerns about the series you use or they use. Did they? Yeah. Did they raise concerns about theoretical guidance, theoretical frameworks? Yeah. Have you been challenged in terms of theoretical? No, not theoretical. Okay. Yeah. I ask you a question. Do you know the difference between conceptual framework and the theoretical framework? You know the difference? What is conceptual framework? What is theoretical framework?
Conceptual framework be for the new idea, but sometimes be
from the theoretical. Okay, let's put it simpler. Which comes first? Theoretical framework, right? Yeah. So first of all, you need to present your theoretical framework, and based on your theoretical framework, you can then propose your own conceptual framework. Your own conceptual framework is the one that you are going to examine. You are going to explore in your own research. Yeah. So theory is very important. Like what I've been discussed last time, right? It may tell you what variables you can research. Yeah. The theory is very important because the theory can tell you what variables you can research. Yeah. What is the structures? What might be the structures of the variables? Yeah. The theory can tell you. For example, that we may say this concept could be a multiple dimensional concept. Yeah, the theory may tell you that. Yeah. The structure of the concept. The theory can also tell you, may also tell you the relationship of the variables, right? Yeah, the relationships of the variables. The theory may also tell you what methods can be used for this research. Right? All of them are key elements of a research. Yeah. So without a theoretical framework, your research could be what? Yeah, so I don't know if that's a good word for blindedness. No, no, not the word. I don't know how to explain. Yeah, but so for quantitative study, there we often raise concerns. For example, you want to research students' academic performance. There are many direct predictors, predictors of academic performance, right? Yeah, individual predictors, family predictors, school predictors, social predictors, cultural predictors, many different types of predictors of academic that may influence students' academic performance. But the issue is that why you only include these several predictors? Do you understand me? Yeah. So we all know it's not possible for you to include all the potential predictors. It's not possible for a single study, right? It's not possible for a single study to include all the potential predictors. You may only select several predictors, right? Yeah, so the problem is, why them? Why not others? Why you choose them? Why you choose? Why you ignore others? This is we often raise questions. You have to justify why you choose these predictors. Yeah, how to justify? How to justify? Maybe I need to take a seat. Yeah. How to justify? Yeah. How to? I sit straight. How to? How can you address this problem? Theory, right? Yeah, the theory can tell you what variables you can choose. Right? Yeah, the theory can tell you that. When you focus on these variables, what might be the relationship between these variables? The theory can tell you that. So if you have a suitable theory, you can justify why you do this research, why you choose these variables, why these variables could be related in this way or in that way. Theory can tell you that. So the theory is very important. Yeah.
So if the theory, is it possible to use more than one theory?
Yeah. Possible. It's possible. But if you list a number of theories, list a number of theories in your thesis, we'll see. Guiding your research, you merely just put them there, but they not really guide your research. That is the problem. But if necessary, we can combine, for example, two series. We can combine two series. Yeah, combine two series and into one conceptual framework of your own. That's possible. That could be a good way. That could, it's possible. Sometimes it's necessary. Yeah, but But if you list a number of series in there, but these series are not connected with your research, that is the problem. That is the problem. Yeah, so that's what I want to say. So the first, selecting appropriate series. So your question is good because it's related to the next one. You have to use the series appropriately. Use the series appropriately. Yeah. What does it mean saying use the series appropriately? You have to show others your theory and your research are connected. Yeah. Your theory is really guiding your research. Yeah. Suppose in the theoretical framework, you use, for example, you use 1 or 2 series, but in other parts of your thesis, it seems that it's not necessary for you to mention the theory again. You don't have to mention the theory in other parts of your thesis. That could be a problem. Because if your theory is closely connected with your research, you have to mention the theory here and there throughout your thesis. Yeah. So by saying using the theory appropriately means they have to integrate it. Yeah, they have to be connected. Yeah, that's it. Okay, the first, the second levels, the third level is that while you design your study, you use the theory. But if a good study is that you have to make contribution, you use the theory, and then in turn you have to contribute to the theory. You have to expand the theory at the same time. That's a good study. That's also your theoretical contribution. Not merely situated in the theory, in the series. We also expand. We also extend the series. So 3 levels. It's very important. So because this is an important part, I use several examples. I use several examples to illustrate how to use a theory and how to contribute to the theory. First of all, I give you this example. This is a theory. Anyone heard of this theory? Job demands resources model. Job demands resources theory. This is a very influential theory. No one heard of this theory. It's not that influential. you never heard of this? No, I'm kidding. It's really influential. It's one of the most influential theories in the past 2 decades in occupational psychology, occupational behaviors. Yeah, very, very influential. Heard of this concept, work engagement? Heard of that? Yeah, good. how do we conceptualize working engagement? How do we conceptualize working engagement? One view, one way of conceptualizing working engagement is that working engagement is a three-dimension construct, including vigor, dedication, absorption. Heard of this? Yeah. Working engagement. So when we talk about working engagement, maybe you merely working engagement. I do something, behavior. No, it mainly describes your state. Yeah. So it describes your vigor, your absorption, your dedication in your work. That's it. That's work engagement. This is a Dutch research team. What do they do? Their contribution. The same team. Yeah. The same team also proposed this series, this very influential series. So this theory maybe help you, or may be helpful for your research. I explain the basic propositions. You see this? The first main proposition is this: job demands, job resources. The theory divides job characteristics into two main categories. One is demand. The other is resource. Demand, resource. You can imagine when you are working persistently, working in high demanding environments, what could be the result? High demanding environments. Pressure, right? Pressure, stress, right? So health problems, right? Yeah. So because why? Because I'm always being under great pressure. Yeah, great pressure. So this is job demands. So this category leads to one process. This process is the health impairment process. So if you always be or long term in the highly demanding environment, it will result in burnout, exhaustion, burnout. For example, when you get up early in the morning, when you think of all the things you need to do that day, you feel what? You feel exhausted. You feel exhausted. So tired. So the burnout, exhaustion. And in the long run, in the long term, it will cause negative outcomes. It will cause your health problems. So this is one category. This is one process. For another, the work environment not merely exert demands on you. The environment may also provide resources. Right? The environment may provide you with training opportunities. The environment may also provide you social support. right? Yeah, the provide resources. For example, there are two options for you. One is being enrolled by Harvard University. The other one is being enrolled Northeast Normal University. Which one do you prefer? So all conditions equal. One is Harvard. The other one is our university. Which one do you like? Harvard, right? It's understandable. I also like Harvard. Yeah, this is more influential, right? Yeah, more prestigious. Yeah, okay, it's understandable. It's understandable. Why do you prefer Harvard? Why? Because Harvard can provide you more resources, right? Because different levels, different platforms, different resources. Yeah, you may see there, you may experience more international. Yeah, the teachers there, the teachers who teach you, maybe the what? Maybe the psychologist, world known, yeah, famous psychologist. That's different. That's different. So, why we choose higher or better platforms? Just because the platform may offer us more resources, right? Yeah. So the other is job resources. So the job resources can activate the other process, which is motivational process. So the resources can motivate you, right? Can motivate you. So with plenty of adequate resources, we may be more motivated, we may be more engaged, which then lead to better performance, positive outcomes, better work performance. So two categories, two processes. This is the key propositions of the GDR. Yeah, the key propositions of the GDR. But this is the basic. Yeah. Yeah.
So I see that the job is a social and burnout connect to positive outcome performance. So I want to know the connection you have.
Yeah.
How a social or burnout comes in?
You can see the minus in the framework. Minus means negative. Yeah. For example, job resources negative predictor of exhaustion, which means what? When you have adequate resources, it will reduce your burnout. Reduce your burnout. Yeah. When you have adequate resources, this plus, it will increase your work motivation, work engagement. Yeah. When you have high levels of job demands, it will cause result in your burnout. So this is the minus and plus in it represents the relationships. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. The job demand resources model and theory, the difference between the model and theory.
Sorry?
Difference between the model and theory. So, for example, the job demands resources model, we also call the job demands resources theory. The difference two keywords.
The keywords?
Yeah.
The name of the theory?
Model and theory.
Model and theory, what's the difference between model?
Many cases they are overlapping. Sometimes the model just theory. So some scholars call this job demands resources model. Some others call this job demands resources theory. Yeah, theory. So sometimes they are interchangeable. But when we call a theory a model or a framework, there sometimes this a framework like this will be presented. You can see there are lines, directions, and the relationships among the variables. Yeah, but some theories may be more systematic, more bigger. For example, social cognitive theory, Bandura. This is what? This is a system. It is a system. It involves many sub-theories. Yeah, for example, the concept of self-efficacy. Yeah. For example, what is the English name for that? The triadic causal mechanism. You heard of that? Triadic causal mechanism proposed by Bandura. It means personal, behavioral, and environmental. Three types of factors, right? Three types of factors: personal factor, behavioral factor, and the environment factor. They are related to each other bidirectionally. Yeah, is that clear?
Yes.
They're direct. So this is another key sub-theory within social cognitive theory. So I mean, some theories is much bigger. It's a system. It's a system. So that's much bigger than the framework, than the model. Yeah, much bigger than the framework, than the model. For another example, so social cognitive theory. For another example, constructivist theory. It's also bigger. Yeah, it's also bigger. Yeah. So sometimes they overlap. Sometimes they are different. Yeah. But actually, the framework is more complicated than this one. Actually, it's like this. this is a yeah. This is understandable.
Yes.
Not that easy.
More complicated. Because there's
Okay. Okay, you can see here, job resources, right?
Yeah.
Job demands, right? Yeah, job resources, job demands. So two categories, right? Yeah, you can also see motivation, right?
Yeah.
This is a motivational process. What do we say? Job resources increase job work motivation, right?
Increase job.
Job performance, right?
Yeah.
Job demands lead to strain, exhaustion, burnout, right? Yeah, this is health impairment process, right? It's the same as the previous, same as previous. But what is the difference? Here we have another one, personal resource. Personal resource. So our resources, not only the resources provided by the environment, we have our own resources. So what is job resources? For example, the social support, right? This is job resources, right? The support provided by the work environment, social support. For example, social capital. Social capital. For another example, who mentioned that? Feedback. Feedback. This is what? This is job resources, right? Job resources. Yeah. But some resources, personal resources. For example, we've always been talking. What is personal resource? Self-efficacy. This is personal resource, right? Yeah. This is my personal belief. I'm confident I can what. This is personal belief. For another example, hope. Yeah, your hope. For another example, optimism. Optimism. This is your personal strength. Yeah, your personal value. All of them are personal resource. So they divide resources into job resource and personal resource, and they function similarly, leading to activating motivational process. So now you understand most of the part, most of the framework. Okay, then you can see the reverse lines. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, job demands lead to strain. Strain reversely lead to demands. This is what? This is reverse direction. Yeah, it means what? This influence is not merely one directional. There may be what reverse effect from burnout to from burnout, from strain to job demands. Why? It's understandable. If you feel burned out, if you feel exhausted, what might be the result of the burnout? Yeah, you feel when you feel burned out, when you feel exhausted, you will what? For example, you will refrain from activities. Possibly, right?
Yeah.
I'm tired. I don't want to involve in activities. Don't want to involve in these tasks. You may just want to refrain. You may cause extra problems when you feel burnout. Yeah, for example, you may feel irritable, right? Yeah, because your health problems, you may feel irritable, you may feel what. So these negative emotions, these negative feelings, these negative behaviors will return, in turn, cause more demands for you, right? Yeah. Through self-undermining behaviors. But here, resources can lead to motivation, but motivation can reversely influence your resources, right? And through job crafting behavior, suppose you are motivated, you are highly motivated, you are highly engaged, you may learn more, right? You may learn more, you may build more, what? More connections. Then these job crafting. So if you are motivated, most likely you want to explore further, right? And you're interested. You want to explore. You want to do more. Yeah. So through these job crafting behaviors, you may gain more resources. So, for example, through consistent, persistent engagement, I may master more skills. Is that possible? That's possible, right? Yeah, I'm engaged. I'm engaged. So I may learn more. I may master more skills. So what? Your personal skills enhanced. So resources influence motivation. Motivation may reversely influence your resources. So this is what? This is a what? This is a spiral cycle, right? Positive spiral cycle. Yeah. And this is what? Negative. Yeah. So this is what? Bidirectional relationships. So now you understand more about the framework. Yeah. Oh, don't have time. So how about this? I will send you some articles related to this series. You go through these articles and share with us next time. Share with us how they use the theory in their articles. What contributions they make to the series. Yeah, how they use the theory, how they expand the theory. So next time we will discuss. You share your opinions. Yeah, you have to read them after class. Yeah, I will share the articles in the group. Okay, so much for today. Thank you.